Welcome back, Warrior. We are reading Genesis chapter 13 today, and it is pretty short. Here's where we're going to read the preface. Abram returns from Egypt, he and Lot part. The Lord will make Abram's seed as the dust of the earth in number. Abram settles in Hebron. Okay, and apparently I need to restart this app. Just one second. Okay, it's working again. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so we're in the verse by verse with the redheaded hostess. That's the section that we're in. Nope. This is too... My head's getting cut off. Okay. A quote that I really like that goes with this one is, "Truly great responsibility rests upon the seed of Abraham in these latter days." End quote. Elder David A. Bednar, Becoming a Missionary, October 2005 General Conference. Oh, I love that because we're totally in feels like everybody around us is getting called to serve a mission. And that is so cool. Either we know 10 missionaries or we also know of 10 missionaries that are about to leave. And I think that is so neat. But because of that, I think sometimes we forget that we are missionaries and that we can testify of Jesus Christ and that we can bring other people closer to getting to know Christ just through the way that we are. Okay, so chapter 13. Decisions determine destiny. Oof, that's a good one. That one's from President Monson. Okay. And Abram went up out of Egypt, and he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. And he went on his journeys from the south, even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been, at the beginning between Bethel and Hai, unto that place of the altar which he had made there at the first, and there Abram called on the name of the Lord. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents, and the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle, and the herdmen of Lot's cattle. I'm trying to go so fast. Activate our core. And the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelled in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, "Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left." And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zor. It's like Roar, but Zor. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from the other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent toward Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. Whew, we might have to slow it down. Because it's nice to walk that fast, but I don't think I stretch my hip quite enough for that. Okay, verse 14. And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, "Lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art northward, and southward, and eastward, and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it, and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee." Then Abram removed his tent, and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. Okay, and then So here, while Lot was looking towards Sodom, Abraham was exactly where the Lord wanted him to be. He had chosen the right land. Always choose the right? I don't think they had CTR rings back then. So Lot couldn't remember. Anyway, he had chosen the right land. It may not have been as inviting as the green plains that Lot chose, but it was full of promise. In verse 14, we see that the Lord had Abraham look upon the land and remember that it is promised to his seed, and his seed will be so innumerable that the Lord uses the dust of the earth to explain how numerous they will be. In an incomprehensible number, a promise which would have been truly miraculous, since Abraham had no children at the time, right? And he's probably like, okay, Lord, like that's when the Lord tells you stuff, you're just like, okay. Something super cute was that our oldest is looking for a job right now. And specifically he went to, he's been filling out job applications and going to different places. And anyway, he does not want to be a server, like a food server. He doesn't want to deal with food, but that's the industry that hires the most, right? So anyway, he's trying to figure this out. Anyway, so he actually went and applied for Quick Quack car wash. And on Sunday, the choir was singing. And he turns to me and he's like, wow, the choir does not look like there's a lot of people there. He says, there's less people than there was before. And I was like, yeah, I guess they need you, right? And he made a comment, which I totally didn't even see coming. He's like, well, if Quick Quack car wash calls me and hires me, then I'll join the ward choir. I was like, what? Say that again. And I recorded him. And then 5 seconds later, he's processing the fact that he just said that. And I was like, this is called additional covenants with the Lord. And I have made several additional covenants with the Lord. So many, when you struggle through things, you do these, you do it in a way that's like those open prayers. And sometimes they're pleading prayers. And so I know about those extra covenants with the Lord. And so it was kind of fun to see him think of one for himself without even realizing the importance of it, right? And you might think, well, Linda, that's more of a threat to the Lord. And while I can totally understand that we do not threaten the Lord and we do not test him in that way, that there are ways that we can experiment upon the word and ways that we can tell the Lord hey, you don't have to do this for me. But if this did happen, I would know that you know me and I would be willing to do anything, even join the word choir. Because this small act would show me that you know what I care about, right? And so, yes, while I don't think that it is awesome for people to be show me that God is real by raining, I don't believe in a vending machine God either. And so it's like a fine line, right? But I do believe that God wants what we want, and just like we want what God wants, right? And he knows what we care about. And so anyway, I really hope that, and I was trying to explain to my son that when you do those extra covenants, you also have to put in some work to show the Lord that you're ready to receive. And anyway, I really hope that he's able to get that job. But at the same time, I know that if he doesn't, that it'll be okay too. And that he's not going to be mad at the Lord. And he probably would be relieved maybe that he doesn't have to join the ward choir. But at least he's getting started on the, hey, Lord, I want to experiment more. And I want to experiment more upon the word. And this might be like a thing. Maybe if you do this, I'll know that you know and that you see me. Right? And today I actually had my Relief Society president called, and I didn't even know, or she texted me and was like, hey, can we chat? And I was like, oh, it's going to be kind of a long chat probably, and I don't really need to talk to her, but I guess I should answer the call, even though I'm like behind on my stuff already. Anyway, we ended up talking for like 30 minutes, and at the end of the call, I felt really bad. I was like, oh no. Like I texted her, I was like, I'm so sorry that we chatted for so long, but then I thanked her for ministering to the one, and I hadn't realized that I needed to talk to somebody about those things that I was thinking about my callings, and I was grateful that she was there and in tune to listen and receive revelation from the inspiration or from the information that I provided for her, and that I didn't even know that I needed to share with anyone. So I was so grateful for that. And the Lord really does know us, and he really wants to help us, and he wants us to find joy, and he puts people in our path to help us with that. So anyway, there's a quote here from, hold on, we're on the wrong one. No, there's not a quote, but there's this little other thought. It says, while Lot was looking towards Sodom, Abraham was exactly where the Lord wanted him to be. Oh, I had already read that. So yeah, anyway, we're talking about no children at the time, right? And so the Lord knows us, knows the desires of our hearts, and wants to bless us. And I love that Abraham was always willing to do what the Lord asked, and that is why he was blessed. So let's be willing to do what the Lord asks, so that we can receive, and we'll be ready to receive those blessings that await us, right? Sometimes we just got to put it out there. Okay, until Genesis chapter 14, stay strong, warrior.